Hi everyone, I'm Tina. This is To the Inner Wild. Thanks for stopping by. Today is Christmas Eve. Yeah. I finally scooped myself up out of bed early and I didn't go back. And yeah, things are moving along pretty quickly.
And let me prefix this with a thing we all encounter. Dun dun dun. The dreaded, despised, and unintended shadow work. It sneaks up on you, and for me, it was to tidy up after I approached the bigger things. It's the universe's way of showing us that we're stronger, and complying with its personal memos is a great way to avoid meltdowns and unnecessary ailments in life. What are your thoughts? If you're encountering this now, it means that you have some particular input and relatability to it.
You know, when you don't move around, there's nothing really horrific to look at except whatever's in your head, right? Which is double impact self-sabotage. Because, you know, you're sitting in your own thoughts. Rumination seems like a soft-core way to put it, but when you're cycling through those thoughts, man, wow. But I am certain that there are others who are like me, maybe more successful at overcoming burdens, currently anyway, than I am. Anyway, here I am. I am going to go with, I don't know why these were calling me, these decks, but I had some interesting insights on the, oh my gosh, I'm about to burp right now. I could feel it. I could feel it. Anyway, what are I? Oh, I don't think I saw a pick a card yet today. It's confession time, okay? Let's just do confession right now, okay? I haven't gone to confession in a long time either. How do you start it? Gosh. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Yeah, that's right. Whoa. I had a prayer running in my head. It's when you do the rosary. Why is that? Forgive us our sins, save us from the fires of hell, and lead all souls to heaven, especially those in most need of your mercy. Yeah, the longer Catholic prayers, I get them mixed up a little bit now that I'm not in practice as much as it were back in the day. Yeah. Now, some of you don't realize that since I'm in a parking lot, sometimes I try to park in the boonies, but it's holiday season, so sometimes there's people parked right next to me, and we just kind of, instead of getting frustrated with myself, so long as they're not super loud, and then I can pretend that they're not there, especially when I don't wear my glasses. Okay, what I wanted to tell you, angels, I invite you in, spirit, ancestors, higher selves. One came throughout. What? It's the magician, everybody. Look. And you know who was already included. As soon as our higher self, it was that. The invite, that came out. How cool is that? Thank you, higher self. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, spirit guides. Thank you, angels. Who else should we invite in? There's plenty that want to say something. Everyone seems to be in good spirits for the end of year, which is unexpected, and I just started feeling it today, as soon as I started moving around.
I rummaged for this reading as soon as the news got out of hand, but the angels put it out of view until it was ready for me to approach. That time is now.
I need to start getting serious about things, because Spirit gives me insights that are in the right direction of leadership. Not just any kind of leader, regal leader, like leader of leaders, similar paths. So even though this might not resonate for you, it is also true for you. You have reached this within the time that you're supposed to. So however you take that, whether it resonates here and now or later, like it might click by some other occurrence, I don't really know how to tell you. But when you follow your intuition, you'll find the answers much sooner and with much more clarity. It just seems to go and flow. It really is a domino effect. It's exciting to watch as it goes through. That's because you say there's a ripple effect. No, this is like so much more exciting. It's like, where does it go next? You know, it's like a trail of breadcrumbs. What do you call it? A murder mystery? I forget what you call it. Ooh, I forgot to put on my lipstick. I forgot to put on lipstick or chapstick because I feel I'm chapped right now. So we have the magician. It is a female magician, by the way. The context for that is the feminine aspect. If you're male, then it would be the anima part of you. Reawakening, rebalancing. Yes. So there's so much symbolism in here. This is the first time that I'm working with this deck, by the way. And
in these older readings, my attempts at grounding was a process of elimination on finding the correct focal points. For the sake of improving our learning curve on our strengths and weaknesses, the universe enforces the law of attraction. So it attracted a mixed crowd, sending mixed signals for me. And while I ultimately learned everyone's purpose became essential, it warranted no further energy but acceptance and its following closure. But before this realization, I let others plant seeds of thought and opinions within my garden, and had to uproot them just like we do with energetic cords when we don't want to instigate further blooms, as we would when deadheading a rose bush. I bought into the man-made numbers of this world rather than the organic ones that work in cohesion with growth for the all. Now, I'm happy to share this with you as a reminder to regain your power upon regaining your strength, which also means rebuilding your energy reserves. I found myself wondering what I was lacking, and it turns out that it was just perspective, or at least a more positive one, despite the sum of negativity and confusion.
You know what it looks like to me? It looks like she's preparing for, I want to say a battle, but it's not. It kind of is, though. Okay, so everything seems peachy keen. Not peachy. That's like a... Things seem better than they normally would at this state, okay? There's a calmness that surrounds her.
It's feeling the calm before the storm.
But at the same time, she's on guard. That's what it is. To anticipate the worst. This is not just having all of your tools before you, but also being equipped with them on the go. Like being ready to wield each element. So in her left hand, her intuit side, it's a wand, and it's already illuminated at the tip. On the right hand, her action-oriented side, the logic, strategy, she has her sword at hand. It's still laying on the table, so it poses no threat, but she has a side eye that's kind of looking down. When she's grabbing this sword, it's like in contemplation, like, should I take it with me? Can you see it? The base of her knowledge is ancient. Oh my gosh, okay. By the way, this is the Mystical Tarot. When I saw this ball at the bottom right here, a ball, but there's no chain, so this person is not held down. So that's an important thing, okay? The other thing is that, like, why is it a ball? And the ball is meant to be like a crystal, like a scrying crystal, sphere anyway, and it's supposed to go on this stand, but it's fallen. That's what it is. So it does mean something that's greater. Okay.
I was told to share this with my viewers, although a fraction of them are non-believers.
Are leaders. You have all the resources that you need, and any resources that come along the way are meant to help progress you. But Spirit doesn't endow you with all kinds of things that will burden you. So that includes the angels that help, your guides and your guardians. That these resources appear, like yesterday's reading was a slight reference to the loot chest, or a treasure chest, and that's supposed to help elevate you. It's not going to benefit you to have that earlier in the game if you're just carrying it around. You don't understand the value of it until you see, like, one domino hitting the other. The sequential bonding of information. It's like when molecules are formed, these atoms, it's like a bonding of yourself energetically and this resource, right, that you come across. And then an agent, a figure of change, usually an antagonist. So this force that seems obstinate, positive, negative, whatever, comes bonded with you, your energy, their energy, and then that resource tool, right? So it's kind of like drawing you in together, a co-creative force. These are meant to pair all together at the timing, building your path, constantly bonding. Anyway, it's very similar to that spiral right there. That building of the fire, right? That leading up to it. Although that's really a siphon that goes around and round and round.
In other words, it's our cyclical journey of each karmic relationship that lead us to ascension and wake us up like a lit fire in the middle of the night. I'm editing this 4 to 5 months later and realize this was meant to serve as partially a pep talk predominantly for me, or a checklist of the journey's completion. I'm very happy to confirm things are in motion within the latter. Now, I think we should just stop right here for a second and just revel in the thought that divine timing is omnipresent.
The angels are trying to tell you that you're a leader, so take accountability for your ish and start equipping yourself and with not just tools but also knowledge, the resources, the experience of others, the shared experiences, in order to put yours also into perspective, to have the patience and the diligence, the discipline to get your craft and yourself in order, because ish is going to fall down. There's a car door that just slammed on my right side. So that's the action side. To pick up your ball, the ball that fell. But the primary message that I got was, in Two of Wands, there's a person holding this globe. So it's about perspectives and choices and distance. And so this guy is holding this orb, and it's usually the world, and it's deciding, alchemizing in his hand while he holds something symbolic in his hand. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Okay, I usually don't think of alchemizing in the head like when it comes to that card.
It just means planning and strategy that aims beyond our current pursuits.
But I think it ties very well to the verbiage that's needed for this magician, because it carries over the context of this orb. It's like a scrying tool, a scrying sphere. The parallel translation is the world, and how it got knocked off of its pedestal. That's what's happening right now, and the need to pick that back up.
I almost cut this misspeak out, but I think it sounds like saint. It could mean that we need to start looking to true role models and not the false ones the world helped us idolize.
Even though things might seem better than expected at this point, even down in the future, as a leader, you really need to be not overly cautious, but cognizant of the fact that at any time you can be knocked off your pedestal. Not to imply that you are on a pedestal, but you can be knocked off of your game. There's no sense of real permanency in achievements. The saying, it's so callous, it's what have you done for me lately? In the business world, I think that's been glorified. And I mean, even in romanticism, this sense of entitlement, you owe it to me, you owe me.
I've learned in relationships lately that there's a huge difference, but a fine line between demanding and commanding, entitlement and earnings, relationships and bonds, transactions and exchanges, respect and attention. That fine line presents an existing gap, a threshold to be discerned carefully. 2020 was a year that initiated me into this practice. This question, posed more as a remark, made me hit the Control, Alt, and Delete, not just hit the escape button. That was a big trigger where I responded with, what the F do you think I owe you? Because what you think you deserve versus what I owe you are two very different things. You may command respect or demand attention. You may feel entitled to transact further because of the relationship you had, but without a true bond, you won't earn the respect of future exchanges. All relationships are built by some exchange, but do we treat them like a transaction? How much of an investment does each party make to say it's sustainable? The mutual exchange bestows at least two rewards: earning potential and the monetary value of accomplishments. So when you devalue historic evidence without acknowledging the intangible worth of a person is when the line becomes thicker and more permanent.
That's what I'm trying to say. The frustration encountered, we're here to reciprocate, aren't we? It's a relationship, not just a one-way street. I don't know. I guess from my personal experiences, I find very insulting, offensive, yeah. Well, let's get back on track. Okay, so knocked down off of this. It's seated position, it's column. The column, the foundation is holding up this world on your table, really, but it fell on the floor. It's not cracked, so that's cool, but I think it's asking for you to work with your intuitive side. You have to put down a weapon or a resource, an element, in order to pick up that ball. It's no question as to whether or not to pick up the ball. Now, she's holding her manifestation wand and hand illuminated, and it's ready to go. Now she's contemplating on whether or not to pick up her sword, because she realizes also that there's the ball on the floor. The sword is already safely on the table, but she's second guessing as to whether or not she should keep the sword and check if the coast is clear to see if the ball is okay to pick up. It's that conceptual way of thinking. She's about to pick it up, but she's just on the brink. She needs to be able to pick up that ball, right? So we're in that in-between state. Oh, yeah, we are. Okay. Yeah. So the fighting needs to be put to rest, but she's on guard because everybody else is content right now. You know, there's a little limbo of contentment or familiarity, established familiarity. That's what it is. Okay, so people are at a relief point. She's thinking, I don't know if I should get the sword yet or like pick up the ball yet, but it's time to draw in, like intuitively speaking, the world. Like, do I tune in or do I stand guard? Okay, that's what it is. That's where we're at.
Drawing in, we find the most genuine answers, gaining a better perspective on our archival, present, and potential forms, thus endowing us with elevated adaptability to life events, however triumphant or tragic they may be. It is the precursor to standing guard, because you must know the value of what you're protecting in order to have the best defense. By that we mean optimum point of contact to mediate and know where our breaking points are.
Okay, the bottom of the deck is Queen of Pentacles. This might also be a business that you have centered around it, or you have the capabilities of, or maybe you already are. Let me just double check here, okay? Because there's a very nurturing quality of the Queen of Pentacles. She's generous, she's good with kids, and loves nature, and just like the very grounded energy. She's nurturing and motherly. Sometimes around her throne she'll have kids there, or she's looking after kids. I've never seen her pregnant though, but I'm guessing this one's like fertile. The King of Pentacles. Okay, so it's a Queen and the King of Pentacles. How weird is that? A lot of my readings are like this. When you take leadership, you do your job for spirit. I feel like this is for light workers. This is for even possibly starseeds. These are people who have a mission that is spiritually based, being that I told you about the world right here. It has to also do with like the justice system, the looking after community, helping improve the way things are in a more cosmic sense, help with ascension, because that's truly what it is when you improve the community. Your surroundings, yeah, your grounded energy. When you do that, when you take command of that, you automatically reign into this status and attract your counterpart. But before that, you also have to see that side in yourself, the masculine and feminine aspect within that suit. She's turned off to the side, she's facing him, he's facing the world. Yeah, spiritually based business, with the justice system, having to do with fairness and standing up for, because the next one is the Chariot. The Chariot is like about going places, the ability to move forward and take command, take the reins. 7. Open the book. Has significant advantages over warriors who battle on foot. a wider viewpoint, increased speed, physical protection.
For my loyal listeners, let me drop you on a little secret. When I was new and battling with some foul energies, my guides used to help me with the sound fluctuations. So when you notice the sound is off, it's an adjustment I made so it wouldn't hurt your eardrums. While I'm not a pro, I certainly made a huge effort, and while the divine chooses its battles, they allowed this energy in, but only as a signifier to the most important parts to listen to. I realized this in the past month, and this is one of them.
It takes skill and daring to drive a chariot. Dare to move swiftly towards your next level of success. Yeah, so whatever you're doing, you have an open road. Like I said, the atoms, building your path, you already have that path ahead. As you move forward, the path is built. Oh my gosh, that's what that is. That's what that is. Oh wow. There's an act of discernment in the magician's setting here. She's working long nights because the candle is lit, and it has this longevity. The way that it's invented, this lighting system, proposes that it lasts a long time. So she's working through the night as well. And an act of discernment in how to move forward, and where, and when. Yeah, strategy, that's right. But there's also discernment on, it's not the habitual motion to stay up late at nights, but there's something that's happening here for this circumstance to keep her up. Yes, for readiness. And after the chariot, we have strength as well. And I like this because it came from the front of the box. This lady is chill. She's independent. I really like it. Her lion is so tamed that it looks like a house cat napping, like just waking up from a nap. And she's just about to go, and she's like, hey, let's go, ready to go. And she has this like Queen of Wands demeanor, but more free-spirited. It's still a display of prowess.
But she doesn't let it define her.
It's not meant to be obvious. It just is in the moment. A woman's strength is courage. The lion's strength is willpower. The strength they share is trust. She trusts he will not savage her. He trusts he can control his savage instincts. Your instincts protect you, but they do not rule you. Your higher self will prevail. See, our higher selves came through. They wanted to tell us. Instincts protect you. That goes back to the magician card. But they do not rule you. Yeah? Your higher self will prevail. Okay, so that's like a start and finish, I feel like. That's great because we have 3 major arcana out of the 5, and then a pair of 1 suit counterparts. This is like a full house. 3 major arcana that are very strong, 2 of a kind. How cool is that? We have a full house, everybody. I don't know poker too well, but that's as much as I think I gather. I just wanted to do a quick read. I think that's it for now. The bottom is 6 of Wands. That's a victory, everyone. Look. That's so cool. That's so good, you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the 6 of Wands in full effect. That is a great closing statement. Angels, archangels. Alright, yeah, archangels, of course, yeah. You can have your own call out. Spirit, ancestors, higher self. That was cool. Thank you very much. Okay, hopefully that helps you. You know, sometimes it's nice to get a little insight, you know, the upside of what we're doing, that there's so much more purpose. And I think that, you know, with times like these, it feels like, you know, paychecks might preside over anything else. There's a scarcity with cookie cutter opportunities that we need to shift our way of thinking to expand those opportunities. But how do we do that? Recreation of the path ahead.
Planting new seeds with additional resources gained from our own lives while we monitor and be patient for the others to come into fruition. Because even as we farm, if we stick to only one thing our whole lives, the soil becomes stale and depleted from its natural nutrients to grow its main staple. We must elevate our approach to support sustainability, as our ancestors did for us.
You want to create the same one? I kind of doubt that we do. Do you know how stale that would be? Oh my gosh. Trying to market the same ish? Wow. Some people are anxious for that because they just want that comfort level regained. But there has been a long enough span of time that people are seeing the benefits in making use of their